In the grand theater of global power, two giants stand center stage: the American eagle, a symbol of freedom and enduring strength, and the Chinese dragon, representing ancient wisdom and modern ambition. For decades, their relationship has been a complex dance of cooperation and competition. But beneath the surface of diplomacy and trade, a new kind of conflict is brewing, a silent war, fought not with soldiers and tanks, but with algorithms, microchips, and economic policies. This is the story of the 21st century's defining rivalry, a struggle for supremacy that will shape the future for all of us. Welcome to the new battlefield. It's not a physical place, but a digital one. The weapons are lines of code, the soldiers are engineers, and the prize is technological dominance. At the heart of this conflict is the race for artificial intelligence. AI isn't just about smart assistants on your phone. It's the engine of the next industrial revolution. It will power self-driving cars, revolutionize healthcare, and redefine modern warfare. Both the US and China understand this. They are pouring billions into research, competing to attract the brightest minds, and developing national strategies to lead the world in AI. China's Made in China 2025 plan explicitly targets leadership in this field, while Silicon Valley continues to push the boundaries of innovation. The country that masters AI will not only have a massive economic advantage, but will also hold a significant strategic edge. Then there's 5G, the fifth generation of wireless technology. It's not just about faster downloads for your movies. 5G is the backbone of the Internet of Things, connecting everything from smart cities to automated factories. The battle here is personified by companies like China's Huawei. The US has raised concerns about security, leading a campaign to persuade allies to exclude Huawei from their 5G networks. This isn't just a corporate dispute. It's a strategic move to control the infrastructure of our increasingly connected world. Control the network, and you control the flow of data. In the digital age, data is power. This struggle over 5G is a clear indicator of how deep the technological divide has become, turning commercial decisions into matters of national security. And we can't forget the tiny, yet mighty, semiconductor. These microchips are the brains inside every electronic device. From your toaster to the most advanced supercomputers and military hardware, they are the fundamental building blocks of the modern world. For a long time, the US has led the world in designing these advanced chips, but China, heavily reliant on foreign-made semiconductors, sees this as a critical vulnerability. It has invested enormous sums of money to build its own domestic chip industry, aiming for self-sufficiency. In response, the US has implemented strict export controls, cutting off Chinese companies from accessing key American technology and manufacturing equipment. This chip war is perhaps the most direct confrontation in the tech battlefield. It's an attempt to slow China's technological ascent and protect America's long-held lead. The fight for control over semiconductors is a high-stakes game of choke points and supply chains, with the future of global technology hanging in the balance. Beyond the digital realm, this silent war is being fought on the economic front. Think back a few years to the headlines dominated by the trade war. It started with tariffs, taxes on imported goods, designed to protect domestic industries and correct what the US saw as unfair trade practices. The US imposed tariffs on hundreds of billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods, from steel to electronics. China, of course, retaliated with its own tariffs on American products, like soybeans and automobiles. This tit-for-tat exchange sent shockwaves through the global economy, disrupting supply chains that had been built up over decades. Companies were forced to rethink their strategies, and consumers felt the impact through higher prices. But the tariffs were more than just an economic tool. They were a loud and clear message. They signaled a fundamental shift in the US approach to China, moving from engagement to direct confrontation over economic issues. But the economic competition goes far beyond tariffs. It's a race for overall economic dominance, a marathon to see which model will prove more successful in the 21st century. On one side, you have the US system, built on free markets, private enterprise, and innovation. On the other, China's state-led capitalism, where the government plays a major role in directing the economy, nurturing national champions, and pursuing long-term strategic goals. We're also seeing a battle over currency. The US dollar has been the world's primary reserve currency for decades, giving America immense financial power. But China is actively working to internationalize its own currency, the yuan, striking trade deals in its own currency and developing a digital yuan. This is a long-term play to chip away at the dollar's dominance and reduce its own dependence on the US financial system. This economic tug-of-war is about more than just who has the biggest GDP. It's about which nation will write the rules of the global economy for the next generation. The competition for influence extends far beyond their own borders, playing out across the globe, particularly in the developing nations of Asia, Africa, and Latin America. This is the new great game, a contest for allies, resources, and strategic positioning. China's flagship initiative is the Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI. It's one of the most ambitious infrastructure projects in history, a modern-day Silk Road. China is funding and building ports, railways, highways, and power plants across the world. For many developing countries, this offers a much-needed path to modernization. However, critics in the West raise concerns about debt-trap diplomacy, arguing that these massive loans can leave nations beholden to Beijing, giving China political leverage and control over key strategic assets. In response, the United States and its allies, like the G7 nations, are promoting their own alternatives. They're offering infrastructure partnerships based on transparency, sustainability, and high labor standards. It's a different model, one focused on what they call high-quality investment. This isn't just about building bridges, it's about offering a different vision for development. It's a competition of soft power. While China builds stadiums and conference centers, the U.S. points to its long history of providing development aid, educational exchanges, and cultural exports like Hollywood movies and popular music. This struggle for influence also takes place within the halls of global institutions like the United Nations, the World Trade Organization, and the World Health Organization. For years, these bodies were largely shaped by the U.S. and its Western allies. Now, China is playing a much more active and assertive role. It's seeking leadership positions, shaping regulations, and promoting its own norms and standards. This is a battle over the very rules that govern international relations. The question is, will the future global order be based on the liberal, democratic values championed by the U.S., or will it reflect the more state-centric approach favored by China? The allegiances of nations around the world, from small island states to major regional powers, are the prizes in this global contest for influence. So, where does this leave us? We stand at a pivotal moment in history. The silent war between the United States and China is not a Cold War redux. The two economies are deeply intertwined in a way the U.S. and the Soviet Union never were. A complete decoupling seems impossible, yet the rivalry intensifies daily. The stakes could not be higher. This is a contest that will determine the technological landscape of the future, the rules of the global economy, and the balance of power for the century to come. Will this silent war escalate into a more open conflict? Can these two giants find a way to compete fiercely while cooperating on shared global challenges like climate change and pandemics? Or are we destined for a world divided into two distinct spheres of influence, one led by Washington and the other by Beijing? There are no easy answers. The path forward is uncertain, filled with both peril and opportunity. The future of the U.S.-China relationship is not just a question for presidents and diplomats. It is the defining geopolitical story of our time, and its outcome will shape the world our children and grandchildren inherit. The silent war is happening now, and the whole world is holding its breath. Thanks for watching. If you found this exploration insightful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the forces shaping our world. See you next time.